Is that what he did? Did he look through his girl phones for real?
Derek, what you talking about?
KPJ.
Oh, I didn't read that. Did they say that?
Somebody in the chat said that.
No, I didn't see no report of that.
Bro, stop lying, dog. Like that didn't happen. That did not happen. Why you lying, bro? That did not happen.
People keep saying she locked him out. Did she like put the latch on the door or something?
Uh, I don't know.
Because
Maybe
he would have a key card, right? So I was kind of confused at that point.
maybe he didn't have a key card and he tried to get in, and she was like,
Oh, okay. Why wouldn't you walk without your key card though? That would make no sense.
"Yeah." Or maybe he thought that she would have just opened the door or whatever.
This nigga, bro. Like you said, simple. Just go get another room and you'd have been fine.
I mean, I don't know the exact situation, but who knows, man?
Security can't open the door. The front desk guy open the door for him. Security will have
Mm.
no access to key cards.
Yeah, so maybe he got helped by both. Who
Yeah,
knows?
probably the front desk. The front desk when he
Yeah.
came up.
Regardless, he shouldn't have done what he did. Like
Hmm.
that's nuts, bro. I work.
That's why they say in the Bible, a man who let his anger run him is a fool, bro. Like
Pro, you're lying, bro. Are you being for real?
I
You
think he
worked the
pulling
hotel
your leg, bro.
guys.
I don't think he's being honest.
Yeah, I don't believe you. People love fucking around, bro. Ah, shit.
What's that pro short for?
Huh?
Now I'm saying I'm asking the person, what's the pro short for?
I don't know. Um, so I seen a post this morning, right? Like, and I see this post all the time where people talk about 2018 LeBron. Why do
Yeah,
people always
I know what
talk
post
about
you're talking about. I'm
2018
like, bro,
LeBron like he won something, bro?
like he
Like,
won something. Then he get swept.
bro, he got swept in the finals.
Swept.
Like,
Like, come on, bro. How are you taking somebody who got swept over like if I'm somebody who won? That don't make no sense.
that shit always happens, bro. It always happens. I'm like, didn't he get swept? Like, went through the Eastern Conference. Like,
That's
you're
the
like,
same
okay,
shit. That's the same shit
bro.
Shada was talking about yesterday. We gotta be on that type of time and stuff. Like, look at how they be doing that shit. Like,
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I'm
Like,
not gonna lie. It's
so so what happened is that he went to. They almost lost in the first round that year. If you remember, they almost lost to Indiana that year, right? People pretend like it was the greatest run ever, bro. Like they got like a gift, like no other gift, bro. They got Indiana got robbed in the first round. I remember watching that shit, bro, and they just got robbed flat out. And then in the second round, Toronto just shit the pants, right? Like they just shit their pants. DeMar DeRozan, like that's why when people like say, "Oh, DeMar should join the team or whatever," I'm like, hell no. Like that dude is a cuck, bro. Like there's no way. So so they got swept. The coach gets fired. Kawhi Leonard gets inserted. You know what I'm saying? And then they go on to win the title. DeMar DeRozan is just not a good player. You know what I'm saying? Then they go to the East Finals, and he's just doing everything. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just doing everything. I'm not saying that he didn't play great, but the greatest run ever. Come on, dog.
yeah, you gotta win.
And then people were like, "Oh, the series that he had against the Raptors was uh, one of the greatest series ever."
What Raptors? The Raptors that was bowed down to him, that gave him so much respect. Like, come on, bro. They was scared of Bron. Like, that wasn't no great ass series to make it seem like he was playing against some top 10 player. Like,
Bro,
this is DeRozan and Kyle Lowry we talking about.
bro, I can't stand DeMar DeRozan, bro. Like, anytime I see him, I'm like, why do you want him on the team?
Exactly.
Like, I hear fans, bro, like, he just folded like a fucking lawn chair, bro.
Every time.
And people celebrate that shit. And I'm like, why though?
Look what just happened to the Bulls. Like,
Bro, here's what Steph did in the Blazers series, right? 36.5 points, 7.3 assists, 8.3 rebounds, right? And the efficiency was stupid. He shot like 43% from three on like 15 attempts. Okay? Now, let's look at what LeBron did in that Toronto series.
While coming back from 17 down in 2 games.
Fam, people were creaming their pants over that series, right? So let's go back and look. So LeBron did just about the same shit, bro. 36 points a game, 5 assists, 8 rebounds. He shot 48% from three.
It's crazy because Blazers was a better team than that freaking Raptors team.
Like,
he said you shot 48%.
48% from three.
How much attempts?
Like 6.8.
Damn.
Steph scored more points in a sweep, though. Just saying.
Yeah. And it's crazy that they were trying to hype up that series like Toronto was a big. You know what I'm saying?
What's up, y'all?
What's good, bro?
I don't know. I look at when I think about that 2018 run and how it's overhyped. You know how Michael Jordan won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in '87.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that when it comes to his MVPs and all that because he didn't win the title that year.
Exactly.
LeBron is the only person that I see that gets a pass for losing. But they'll talk about his stats and they'll talk about how great he did. But then they'll blame his teams when he loses.
Bro.
And he wins and he gets all the credit.
Like MJ, he got all the awards except like the championship that year, right? Like the shit was crazy.
Brian, he's the only player that shit happens with, right? So
the only player.
You look at
and it's because of his fan base. Honestly, like bro, they champion anything that LeBron does. Like they don't care if they look delusional, if they look stupid on the time, they will say it and stand on it.
2008 Kobe, right? Won the MVP, late season trade with Pau Gasol, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at what Kobe was doing in that playoffs, he was absolutely supreme. You know what I'm saying?
It's insane.
Yeah.
So 2008, he 4-1s the Spurs. By the way, a year prior to that, that Spurs team sweeps the Cleveland Cavaliers. You know what I'm saying? And they go to the finals. They lose to Boston. Bro, when I tell you that Kobe was getting killed that year, bro, he was getting killed, right? Like, you couldn't win without shot, this, that, and the other. This nigga LeBron goes to the finals, and people are like, oh, it's because it's the Warriors. How could he stand a chance? This, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, dumb shit like that gets said. And nobody says a word about it. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. And that's my problem right there. In essence, that's what my problem is. You know what I'm saying? That is what my problem is.
Yeah, that 2016 run kind of gave them a lot of ammo to say, oh, well, he's still this. If he lost in 2016, you already know that changes everything. The whole course of history changes if he loses in 2016.
But, you know, I have a feeling they would still find a way to say this, that, and the other. You know, that's why this shit pisses me off so much when he won that year, because I'm like, if he doesn't win that year, people can't say a lot of this shit, bro. Like, they couldn't say a lot of the shit that they say today. You know, because one, here's what that unlocked. That unlocked the Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving argument from the year prior, right?
Yeah.
that also unlocked the whole KD narrative, right? Like that's what, bro. Like that 16 thing, bro. I'm telling you, like if you go back and you watch the end of that game 4, we should rewatch that game 4. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can find that game tonight, and we're gonna focus in on the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that tonight on my playback. I'm gonna focus in on that game 4, and y'all are gonna see the bitch shit that he was doing at the end of that game 4, bro. Like it was, bro. Like I saw it real time, bro. He was realizing that he was losing. You know what I'm saying? He saw this shit coming, and this dude saw this shit coming, and he was like, next thing you know, he started to do the weirdo shit with Draymond. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, Draymond gets suspended for a game. I'm like, are you serious? Like, they actually let him get away with that? That was the most upsetting part to me, is that they actually let him get away with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so upsetting, man. It was really, really upsetting to watch that. Like, at the time, like, yeah, you blame Draymond or whatever, but, bro, like, how the hell do you reward LeBron for doing that? And it was blatantly obvious what he was trying to do. You know what I'm saying?
Double standards is crazy, man.
Bro.
Yeah, it's always crazy with the double standards.
Man, like, that's the part that kills me.
But I'm telling you, if that was the other way around, like, think about it. If Draymond had did that to Kyrie, and saying like he would have been suspended up to thrown out of the game.
We know how that works, man. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, but it's like,
but at the same time, Draymond gotta know how to control himself, bro.
Yeah, that's the part about it, and it's like, from my perspective, like with Draymond or whatever, right? Like my thing with Draymond is like, you know, yeah, you got suspended or whatever, but how can you be friends like that with these dudes? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, I was looking back at his wedding pictures, right? And you know that that on his wedding pictures. Good morning, DJ. You know, on his wedding pictures, I didn't notice that the whole Clutch Mafia was his. They were in his wedding party.
I didn't see it,
bro. Not one of his teammates were in there, bro.
That's
but these Clutch niggas were there, bro. Like I was like, what? So this is how locked in he's with this dude. You know what I'm saying? So the whole Clutch team was in his wedding party. So that goes to show, man. I mean, and fam, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that in 2019.
Hell no, it was far from like that.
Or 2017, 2016. That shit wasn't like that. But all of a sudden, he switches agencies now. These niggas are like in his wedding party. I'm like, okay, all right. So when fans say, yo, you know, we have a problem with this, and you know, it's a legit beef, bro. I'm telling you, it's a legit beef. You know, it's a legit beef, and now I hear people going to the point where they're like, yo, I don't want to play the Lakers anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, like. You don't want to play the Lakers anymore because LeBron is on the team and you're not sure what this dude is going to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that perception shouldn't even be out there, dog. But I hope the criticism of him is so crazy that he goes over the top next year. You know what I'm saying? I hope he goes over the top next year against the Lakers, because that shit that he pulled this year, man.
Oh, yeah, facts.
Yeah, man.
Even in the little video he was doing when they got eliminated, seen that hug. I'm like, that's so ironic that they put that hug in there.
Bro, this man had a smile on his face.
From ear to ear, too. He did not care.
The smile on his face was, like, disgusting, bro.
And the crazy thing, people think we're overreacting to it. Like, there's more nuance.
We're not overreacting at all.
We're not overreacting at all. We're not overreacting at all, man. Not overreacting in the least. Steph and Clay is on the bench. You look at their faces and it's like, you know, They're on the bench and they're like Steph just looks like he's ready to ball his eyes out. You just look at Draymond. Bruce, what's going on, brother? I haven't heard from you in a minute. Man's been busy.
Bruce, what's good, bro?
As TJ would say, Bruce.
David, bro, G.
Yo, Jermaine, what's good?
What's going on, brother?
What's up, brothers? I'm seeing all this, even though, football season is upon us and, it's starting off well. I'm seeing this Draymond interview and I'm getting goosebumps. Like, I'm feeling five, man. I don't know. Feeling very five-ish.
I was mentioning this yesterday and we're talking about Zach Lowe. And Zach Lowe was like, I don't think the Warriors, he said the Warriors have zero chance of winning. Fam, when I think about that right there, I think about what people were saying in 21-22. He was kind of saying the same thing. He was like, yeah, the Dubs don't stand a chance, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay. And anytime I hear people say that, I view it as a slight against Steph Curry.
Well, of course, 100%.
It's 100% a slight against him. So, I mean, they won't say that about the Lakers, will they? Like,
you know what's funny about that? Not only will they not say that about the Lakers, especially because they got like a LeBron on it. It's funny because even though everybody now say, "Oh, the Warriors were a super team, you couldn't beat them." When Kevin Durant joined the Warriors, there are people saying the Rockets are going to beat these guys. I think the Dubs lost opening night to the Rockets, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, I told you, super team this, super team that." And then, you know what I mean? Lo and behold.
You there, Bruce? Oh.
Yeah, I was getting a call. Even though the Rockets gave up the biggest fight, the Warriors still won. So it's like, the only thing I don't like is like, I love Jokic and give him the credit he deserves, but why they don't do this when the Warriors won championship? You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's not necessarily because of age, because LeBron's older than everybody.
Fam, I watched the Rock starting of the 21-22 season. I watched the Warriors be a playing team, like based on what the media was saying. I watched them go from a playing team to being a lottery team, to being a super team, all in a matter of 2 weeks. Remember that, Bruce? Like, remember when we were doing commercial spaces like that year, and
that's crazy.
Like 9-1, you will not be, and we were on the top. We were just fucking flagrant. You know what I'm saying?
Trista Crick from Barstool, and imagine. She does such a great job for Barstool, the Bostonian, new ESPN, and then she had to eat crow and become a Warriors fan because everything she said was wrong. And the thing about it is like, it's like not many teams go from being the best team to the worst team to back to being the best team, winning again. So having seen these dudes do that and knowing that whatever riffraffs that was going on in the background has been removed, dude, like, I just don't see how you don't give these guys the benefit of the doubt.
So the Lakers had like a similar season, but theirs is different because from a perception standpoint, right? So they start off the season like 0-6 or something like that, right? They had a really bad start. So they have this bad start, and everyone just kind of wrote them off. You know what I'm saying? But they weren't really out of it because, every team was just there. You know what I'm saying? So what makes theirs different is that they had this Russell Westbrook trade. You know what I'm saying? And they got some decent pieces back. But what's different about theirs, bro, is that you could tell that the league were going to just get them into the playoffs no matter what. Now, when have you ever seen a LeBron team with LeBron going down? LeBron James goes down. And some games Anthony Davis is not playing. And these dudes are winning games. Austin Reeves is going to the fucking free throw line 20 times.
Yeah, that doesn't usually happen.
Davis or LeBron ain't playing, and you're saying to yourself, Austin Reeves is going to the line 20 times. Are you serious? Like, right? He's shooting 20 free throws, and you're like, that's not normal, right? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, both of these dudes are out there. They got Dennis out there. They got fucking Reeves and just Gabriel, and they have like these dudes out there that couldn't do shit before, and then they just get marched to the line like we've never seen before. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, next thing you know, they're in the Western Conference Finals. You know, and then people just try to make it seem like they're these underdogs. Let me tell you something, bro. Anthony Davis and LeBron are like top 10 type players. You're not going to have, and in every series, they had those two guys in there. I don't see how you can have those two guys and be, and be underdogs, bro. I just never understood.
And that's the thing, right? Because we've been following the game for a long time, we kind of know when people are being disingenuous, and these are the issues when I talk about having issues. These are the issues that I have with that fan base. It's not because we're trolling, they're trolling, whatever the case is. It's more so because they're just being dishonest. This whole notion of trying to paint your favorite player as the underdog, it just doesn't make any sense. I was talking to one of my young boys the other day. He like a little brother. He's family, and he's a LeBron fan. You know what I mean? He watched LeBron. But I'm like, dude, the impact that Michael Jordan had on the game, we were 7, 8, and 9 seeing dude win his last few championships. We wasn't like going on Twitter. We wasn't going on the internet. We was just seeing him on TV every day. We was just wearing his clothes, wearing his shoes. We were saying we wanted to be like Mike, you know what I mean? And then as you got older and as you was watching your VHSs, you kind of noticed certain things. Dude, I'm talking to a dude from the Dominican Republic the other day, and dude was saying that they called MJ the Black Snake in the DR, and the things that he would do, right? And I'm trying to tell my boy, I'm like, if you're talking about just physically talented specimen, LeBron is probably the most talented specimen since a Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah, but if you're talking about acquiring the most first round overall draft picks to play as your running mates, right, to go on and take everybody else out in the park, and then yet you still lose. So this is the reason why when people tell me Kyrie is better than Dwayne Wade, I laugh, because I say, well, if that's the case and Steph Curry is nobody.
Well, people actually say that?
Dude, I've seen people on Twitter say everything, man. They said Kyrie was better than Steph. They said Kyrie was better than Dwayne Wade.
That's nuts.
And then last year or the season before, or was it after the bubble, the argument was, is Anthony Davis the best teammate LeBron James has had? And
that's crazy.
I'm like, well, D-Wade won a title his first 3 years into the league as a little dude from Marquette who had to stay in college for 3 years, came out with an injury. Yeah. Anthony Davis has been a seismic force who can't get out of the second round. You know what I mean? So it's just like, just taking all these arguments and just looking at all these different things, and I'm like, dude, they're not underdogs. But y'all continue to keep using this and keep telling me what Vegas is saying. Like, if Vegas is telling you to jump off a bridge, you're going to jump off a bridge because Vegas told you to do that. Like, people, I mean, what is it, 35-7? What's that brand, the guys who had the Warriors finishing like 13 or 14 2 seasons ago? What's the dudes who do the prediction, Urkel?
538?
Yeah,
yes.
538.
They had the Warriors finishing like 14 or 13 or some weird.
It was 14, Bruce.
You get what I'm saying? And the Dubs actually finished 3, and they would have finished 2 or 1 if not for injuries, and they win a chip. So it's like this whole underdog thing. They need to stop it, man. It's old. You can't have arguably one of the best players of this so-called generation and always feel like you're underdog because ESPN BPI said so. Like, come on, bro.
And it's funny because the BPI stuff, bro, it's like, I don't know. I never know about the BPI stuff. It shouldn't have been that crazy. Like, but anyways, it doesn't even matter. Like,
yeah, when you see that type of talent, yeah, they should be coming out of the West. They should have came out of the West more than once outside of the bubble. I'm glad that Jokic swept them, because it humbled them. as much as they was like trying to troll us after that series defeat, even though we know that they were shooting maybe 30, 40 more free throws than everybody in the playoffs, right? So I'm glad they got swept and they got humbled. But as long as we do what we need to do, just like Draymond was saying, as long as everybody's not trying to be an individual, the Warriors are going to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good that you brought that free throw point because it went so crazy to a point that apart from the fact that that 80 plus free throw disparity completely fucked up in that series, it created the illusion for the Lakers fans that shooting free throws is the norm, which it isn't. So if there isn't a game where they don't have like a 20 plus free throw advantage, they just start crying on the timeline every day. Like actually it's the norm. So it came so crazy to a point that they didn't want to make a jump shot at all in the very end. So that was like completely crazy because all they did was they just wanted to shoot free throws as if it's a free throw shooting contest.
But
that's
Ashton,
how ridiculous it became.
Ashton, did you watch any bit of the FIBA? Did you see Austin Reeves not getting
cooked?
Austin Reeves
Yeah,
not getting
that's what
calls?
happens. That's what happens when referees don't hold your hand and you don't have LeBron by your side.
Exactly, Ashton.
I mean, he is good, but I don't feel like he is worth the hype that people are actually doing it.
100% because they I mean, he's good. He's a good player, but they overhyped him.
Look at Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder just won with his fellow Germans, right? Dennis Schroeder was grifting too for the Lakers, but even he himself wasn't getting all those cheating, grifting calls that he was getting.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Their play
it
was
another
very
level
different.
with Reeves, dog. Like,
and they used to hate on Dennis, and look now, he won the FIBA MVP of the World Cup.
nobody say shit. Nobody didn't say anything about Dennis. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody.
The response to that would be, it's just FIBA. The big boys is not playing in FIBA. Nobody cares about it. That's the response to you saying, I thought Dennis was a bad player. It's like, nobody cares about FIBA. Okay.
Not knowing that FIBA, yet you gotta win for me. And look what happened to America, 4th place.
Right. Exactly.
You have to win. Like, I don't care what nobody say. FIBA is still the world at the end of the day. You still playing against top players in the world. Like, it might not be from the NBA. It's just top players from their own country. So,
Man.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still feel he's a good player, but I just don't feel that he's worth that hype. Calling him like the next second coming of Jordan and whatnot, just because he's on LeBron team and they have the media by their side.
This mini camp that Steph held the other day, like we were doing we're watching the Clips and Andres thing yesterday. Steph just looks sharp, bro. Like,
yeah, he actually does. Like, bro, he lost a couple pounds.
I think that camp thing is kind of like the LeBron. What you think, Urkel? You think it is similar to the LeBron thing where a lot of the young dudes who come through, they look up to him and respect him? So, like, do you think, like, when they play each other, they'll still go at each other, but it's like, you know, it's more love versus, like, me trying to take you out and hurt you. Yeah. And then also, you know, from the tours of being on interviews and YouTube interviews and podcasts and training and everybody training, don't you feel like they just up to something? They know something. Like, they got to know something. Like, it's too optimistic, like, this off season.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I just look at the Steph thing, and, you know, it's funny because, I don't know, 2 seasons ago, maybe 3, people were like, yeah, Steph has like 2 good seasons left or 1 good season left. You know what I'm saying? He was probably like 32, 33 then. And people were like, oh, he only has like 2 good seasons left. Bro, like, the last 2 seasons have been absolutely amazing from him. You know what I'm saying? And they're probably better than the prior 3 seasons. And that is scary, bro. Like, I don't know when the end is going to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, he won a title at, what, 26?
Yeah.
And we're approaching 36, and they might win another title. That is absolutely phenomenal.
Facts.
And you know what that does, right? Because Jordan was also in his 30s when he was truly winning, right? And had the game in a chokehold, which I still believe the Warriors do. Um, the whole longevity argument that people keep trying to use for LeBron, because I keep trying to tell people this: medicine has evolved, so much so that, I mean, if you look at John Madden in his football career, he tore his ACL. His career was over immediately. If you tear your ACL these days, like a Dennis Smith Jr., you might come back with bigger hops. So
Facts.
the times have changed. So when people are using this longevity argument to prop up the GOAT, and I'm like, nah, I think a lot more players that actually play. And
Longer,
if you have organizations who love their personnel, right, and invest in their personnel, they'll keep them around longer, because some people tend to do their best where they're empowered the most and where they have the most support, i.e. the Warriors. So like Draymond staying here for the next 4 years is going to be, conducive, not just for us, but more so for him, because going somewhere and starting over and doing things differently doesn't always guarantee you, you know what I mean? But you at least know what you have here, you know the routines, you know what's expected, and you can at least live up to the basic requirements. So, like, just from a longevity standpoint, I completely agree with you 100%. I don't know when the end is near for that dude.
Yeah, I mean, I look at even last season, I felt like I would not blame. So say they don't win the 5th ring or the 6th ring or whatever. I don't blame that on these guys. I blame that on the front office. Because they were in prime position. And even when they built that team last season, I think that they just got a little bit complacent. It's the front office's fault, bro. They're the ones that created that environment. Because if they didn't create that environment, a Jordan Poole wouldn't exist. Because they were there telling Jordan Poole the whole time about, like, yeah, he's going to take over this, that, and the other, yada, 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 right? And the players Steph in particular was doing that as well. You know what I'm saying? But Steph will always gas up his guys or whatever, right? But the front office is the ones who created that 2 timeline thing. Last season, and DJ, it's not Draymond's fault. It's not entirely Draymond's fault, I should say. If you go into a situation and you go into an adverse type of situation, that is not Draymond's fault necessarily. But all right, so when you have like a company, right, and they're involved in like a scandal or something like that, right? You know who they actually go at first? They go for the
owner.
CEO,
the owner,
right?
Exactly.
They go for the CEO first, because what they're gonna and then people are gonna defend the CEO, and they're gonna say, well, he can't control all aspects. He's not seeing everything. But you know what they're gonna say? They're gonna say the owner, the CEO, created that environment.
I was just about to say he allowed it to happen.
He allowed this shit to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you allow a certain environment and certain things to fester, that type of shit happens. So I'll give you an example, bro. Like in the summer, 3 guys were up: Jordan Poole, Draymond Green, and Andrew Wiggins, right? Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green played every critical possession. Every single critical possession they played. Jordan Poole was brought in for offense. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was the offensive guy. You couldn't keep him on the floor for every possession. You just couldn't. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Poole was playing like a score spot up role, essentially. Like, he wasn't a playmaker or anything like that. Wasn't brought in for defense. Jordan Poole was paid elite money. He was paid money like a Jamal Murray, like a Devin Booker, right?
Exactly.
Like, he got paid.
He can run the offense.
Bro, he was paid like a number 1 guy. And
yeah,
to be honest with you, like he wasn't a number one guy. Wiggins is better, I think. Steph is better. You can make an argument that Clay is better, right? You can make an argument that Draymond is more important, right? So this guy got paid money like that. And you never really seen that before where a guy is that on the pecking order. And because of the environment, that 2 timelines environment, they were like, okay, Jordan is going to take over. And you hear the owner say shit like Joe Montana and all of this stuff. And this guy's going to, right? So last season, I was noticing that they were setting that tone. You understand what I'm saying? I am not a fan of that, right? Like, I'm not a fan of the whole 2 timelines thing or whatever. I am a fan of putting younger guys on the team so they can endure certain things. You know what I'm saying? I am a fan of that. Now, because you do need to have some young guys, but you can't be setting the tone like these young guys are just going to take over and this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that is done out of ego, right? When you draft guys, you are taking responsibility for drafting those guys and their imminent success. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're doing. And that is what the front office was doing. They were trying to say, we're going to draft these guys and we're going to do it again and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I don't think they actually considered how hard it is to get guys in there and do these things. You know what I'm saying? And they just fucked it up. Because once Draymond started to bicker about a contract, once Jordan Poole was talking about contracts and they prioritized the guy who couldn't close games, that's when I knew they were in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Jordan got paid first, then Wiggins. And then Draymond had to, you know what I'm saying? He was asking for a new deal or whatever, right? And the shit just festered. What they should have done is that they should have just paid Wiggins because he was a free agent, right? So you take care of him. Tell Draymond it's either you pay him, because he was asking for a lot more money than he actually got paid, right? So, it's either you're going to tell him, this is what we can offer, this is what we're going to do, and just leave it at that. They didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? So they just let Draymond play out the year, and then, what happened. They should have never paid Jordan Poole. They should have just had Jordan Poole hit restricted. You know what I'm saying? That would have been the best thing to do, the smart thing to do. But they didn't do that because they treated Jordan Poole like Jordan Poole was just going to step in and take Steph Curry's place. You know what I'm saying? And that just was never going to happen because the year starts off, Jordan Poole couldn't even fucking run the second unit. Bro, Chris Paul is nearly done. And I'm telling you, Chris Paul is going to do a much better job of running that second unit than Jordan ever did. You'll see what I'm talking about. Poole Waves, what's going on? What question you got? See what he's going to say. But see, that is the environment that I'm talking about, bro. Like, that's the environment I'm talking about. Like, Jordan got way too much too quickly. Let's say Poole had played great this year. This is what I'm saying, bro. Poole actually played great this year. Look at it. He had great numbers across the board. You know what I'm saying? Go look at his numbers, bro. He had great numbers across the board. It was like career highs and everything, even turnovers. But that's not what they needed from him. They needed a steady hand. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but you know what, though? I love how you made that front office taking the hit point, and they needed to be humble in themselves. Because hear me out. In no sport is the person who's supposed to be relieving, let's say, your legend per se. That doesn't necessarily happen to where they have persons like just up underneath a player and they're investing in him usually all the time. It doesn't really happen. Like, you may find it once or twice, but it usually doesn't happen when the player is as talented as Jordan Poole is and has shown he can grow and develop in those first couple of years, those players are usually moved because of whatever the instance. You look at Steph Curry just coming up, you look at Monte Ellis being moved. You know what I mean? The reason why I say this is kind of like it's even bigger than Draymond, because I knew that Jordan wanted to leave in a sense. Because look at it. As soon as Jordan leaves, he's already advertising sneakers. Now, you as a front office might be telling him, oh, it's going to be yours. He's looking at his peers saying, yo, I gave this dude 40 points the other night. I'm better than this dude. That dude don't play defense. That dude got his own sneaker line. That should be me. You understand? And I got a championship. That dude don't got a championship. So not only is your agent pitching these things now in different negotiations, I just find that strange. If Nike was going to allow him to, be a part of their GT edition, why not directly after the championship and milk that? Y'all wait till he have a bad playoffs and he's traded.
Bruce, so Poole's comp is Tyrese Maxey,
Tyler Hero,
Portland. So Maxey, Simons,
Hero,
and there's a couple of guys like that, right? Like, so those are his comps. You know what I'm saying? You can make an argument that Jordan's leash is longer than all of those guys. You can make that argument. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Harrow has the green light like Jordan does. They
I don't think so either.
Crazy shots, bro. Like,
in fact, I'll take it a step further. Pat Riley came out not this past season, but the season before, when there was gripes and murmuring. Pat Riley came out and said that Tyler Hero needs to put on about 10 pounds more muscle. And the only people who are going to play in that starting lineup is people who are willing to defend, people who are willing to draw charges, people who are willing to get their nose dirty. You know what I mean? And you could see Hero kind of trying to implement much of that as much as he could. But he made it clear, you're not playing in my team, dog, if you're not going to defend. I don't care who you is. You know what I mean?
Right, so did anyone ever step out, and was that strong in regards to anything with Jordan Poole, bro? Like, I don't think anyone really ever did that. You know what I'm saying?
That's the what?
Bro, once the man got paid, it became impossible. It became impossible for him to, you know what I'm saying? It became impossible for him to manage, because next thing you know, you're starting 3 guards, and now all of a sudden he has to start. Like, bro, like
one of them shut up boys here, cause once you get your money, that is it, you get your money, you can't tell me nothing.
Exactly, bro. And it's like, and when he got paid first, and I even heard like people on the timeline doing it too, right? Like, I had a particular individual saying that, oh, Jordan Poole is more important than Draymond. He's a much better player than Draymond is. And I'm like, do you watch basketball? Like, they were saying that, and I was like, it's one thing to say that about Steph, right? Like, Steph Curry, I understand. But Steph don't even create that kind of division. You know what I'm saying? With Jordan, people are like, oh, we should trade away Draymond and keep Jordan. And really?
That shit was nuts, because I don't know where they was headed with that shit. Talking about,
I like those particular individuals were saying that, and I was like, are you dumb? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that just doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? And it was personally baffling to me. I couldn't I don't know what the hell they were talking about. What's going on, Kevin?
What's good, Kev?
I was just thinking. I was thinking last night after the playback that we had in Andre's playback. Like, if you put Magic Johnson and you put LeBron and you put some of these these all-time greats on the championship team 2 years ago, like, they don't win the title. Like, I'm seriously thinking about it. Like, who else other than Michael Jordan could win an NBA championship with? I mean, we could say that, Clay, whatever, but arguably Kevon Looney and GP2 were like the third and fourth best players on the during that entire playoff run. Like, you could argue Jordan Poole as well, but like who else is winning a title with that roster? Like, I'm really trying to think about if you put Magic Johnson, like, where do they make it to the finals? Do they beat Boston? So like that's kind of like what I was thinking about. I don't know if that's like a topic of conversation, but I was just thinking like who else wins a title with that roster? I'm trying to really think about all-time great players that would win a title with that roster.
If you break it down, right? Like you take Steph out, you put Magic in. That's 3 non-shooters on the starting five. Even if you put LeBron, that's still 3 non-shooters because I doubt they can make that work with Looney and Dre starting, and you will have like no space. Nobody's making that work except Steph.
And you think about it, right? You look at that 2016 finals. I love how y'all mentioning non-shooters. You look at the 2016 finals where Steph arguably played like he was a clone. So for people who don't want to believe he was not healthy, okay, I guess he was clone, right? And when you factor in that Livingston wasn't giving you no perimeter play from an offensive standpoint,
yo, mute your background, Bruce.
Can y'all still hear the stream?
You're clean for me, Bruce. I don't hear you.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Damn, that's too loud.
I had to mute the stream. The stream started.
You got to turn the stream down.
Yeah, I turned it down. But basically, all I was saying is when you look at the 16 finals, where the Warriors were still up 3-1, and Steph wasn't even playing his best brand of basketball, and Draymond goes out, and the series completely shifts, right? And Harrison Barnes couldn't make a shot to save his parents' life. You know what I mean? And it just showed you, like, that's where I think teams figured out the way we could beat Golden State is by fully double team, committing to double team and Steph and top block play or whatever, and let other people beat us. Not the 100% shooter, right? And so when you just even look at it, that's why I think the 22 series, like we're not talking about it enough. That's why the 22 finals is special, bro. Like he really sat there and tried because you think about it. Before the playoffs started, people said the most offensively skilled duo, Jay Williams, I'll quote, one of the most offensive skilled duo, if not the most offensive skilled duo of this generation, is Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. And shout out to KD, but those dudes got swept. And not only did they get swept, they got swept by the same team that Golden State beat after dropping like the first game at home.
Cook.
You know what I mean? We're talking about Andrew Wiggins, who people had as a bust. Dude played out of his mind, so much so that people wanted to give him the Finals MVP. He's so much of a real one that he said, nah, y'all can't get that to me. That is all Steph, right? And Clay wasn't going crazy in the Finals. Jordan Poole had two big shots that were like daggers and like heartbreakers. And he did a few things here and there. But like, shout out to like Otto Porter and like Loon and everything like that. But I'm telling you, like, when you really look at the roster, a lot of those dudes can't be successful everywhere. And that's why Loon said, hey, I'm going to stay here and I'll take less, you know, and I'll build my game here so much so that he's averaging 20 rebounds in some stretches, you know what I mean, still finding ways to impact the game. And that's just all because of who's the true driving force. So when the front office is saying, you know, we're passing the torch to Poole and it doesn't work out, and there's two timelines and then that doesn't work out, you got to come back to the common denominator. The common denominator is Steph Curry. It's Steph Curry. It doesn't matter.
Bruce,
go ahead, Kevin.
I would say, let me ask you a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Just because when I did the microphone, the mute thing on my icon didn't change. But so Andrew Wiggins elevated his game offensively and defensively during that playoff run, right? In 21-22. But did he elevate his game more offensively or defensively?
When?
During the playoffs 2 years ago.
I'll be honest.
I would say he went higher defensively.
Okay. So hold that thought.
Yeah.
So Andrew Wiggins, okay, he elevated his game defensively, and the Warriors still won the title. So think about that thought. we were leaning more on the defensive side of the ball. We were elevating our game defensively with GP2 and Wiggins. How much greater does that make Steph's presence on the offense? Just think about that for a second. You're playing guys out there that are, we had lineups with Steph, Wiggins, GP2, Draymond, Looney. But those guys. You have 4 guys that were leading on defense, and we still won the title. Think about how crazy that is. Think about how crazy that is. We had one guy that obviously is elite offensively, and everybody else was leaning defensive, more on the defensive side. Even though Wiggins elevated his game offensively a little bit. But just think about how crazy that is. We had 4 guys leaning on the defense, and we still won the title. That's just insane to me.
You know what I think? I think this year, if you see a situation where they are much better on defense than they were last season, that is a great indicator if they're going to win the title or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, my thing is that, they were playing great. The one thing that I was holding on to is that the starting 5 was just phenomenal, right? Like, best starting 5 in the league, all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was hanging my hat on. And so throughout the year, you saw where the bench was just getting a little bit better and all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, this guy is out, this guy's getting hurt, this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? So it just felt like they just never got proper footing underneath them. You know what I'm saying? It just always felt like the whole year they were just unbalanced, and there's like the turmoil and all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this year, I don't see any of that stuff.
It seems like to me they tried to kind of recreate that 21-22 roster with bringing in Saric for the Bielitsa. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they're going to try to recreate the formula they had 2 years ago.
Here's the thing, right? It's just like Shadow had already dropped a bomb that he wanted to go back to where his girl was from, Canada, right? But it's like, you can both parties can kind of wonder if Otto could look and say, man, I wonder if I stay in Golden State, if I stay healthy, or if they figure out a way to keep me healthy, which they did, right? And then Golden State could look at it and say, man, we could really use an Otto right now. You know what I mean? Like Ricky G was saying in the timeline the other day, and he was saying he thinks small ball is done and it's caught up to the Warriors. And I said, I kind of disagree with you because they just won playing small ball. Kevin Looney was removed from the lineup. Otto Porter was inserted into the lineup. And if you look at that, that's a small lineup. The only difference is Otto Porter was draining them threes as soon as the game started. It completely changed the whole spectacle of defense. And he was sound in rebounding, sound in defense, sound in offense. In his minutes, he was productive. So, how do I know that the Warriors regretted some of the moves and acquisitions that they made is because they went and they got rid of James Wiseman and they got back GP2. So they could have got rid of James Wiseman for pennies on the dollars, which they essentially did, and they could have retained GP. But it just didn't work out that way. Now, the only thing is, I'll tell you this, I will say this, LeBron, I give him his credit, and to wherever he plays, those teams are going to make moves. So like when Urkel was saying, if they don't get to 5 and 6, he's not putting that on those guys, he's putting it on the front office. And I completely agree. But we shouldn't even have to wait to that. They should just know that these dudes are about winning. You've done it with several iterations, and the common denominator is Steph. He's still here. The number says it nicely. In a down year, they win a chip. In a year when his numbers was looking identical to 16, I mean, you were a game away from going to the Western Conference Finals. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, and another thing is with Andre Iguodala, right? They've been yet to replace his true value, and that's why I tell people, for me, defense is something where you can't always see, right? Because if you're defending a player and he turns the ball over, you might not get a steal on the stat sheet, but you rattle that player. You close that gap. So That's the reason why Andrew Wiggins get a lot more credit from me, right? And that's the reason why I have Andrew Wiggins the second best player on the Warriors, not Klay Thompson when he was figured out coming back to camp out of shape. You know what I mean? But even saying now, like, if Kuminga can figure it out from the standpoint of giving a chance first and can figure it out to where he can stay on the floor at all times in clutch moments like Andre Iguodala was, there's going to be curtains. Because as much as we didn't like the Harrison Barnes and the bad taste he left in out in the finals, he was a sound dude where you could keep on the floor. He could get you a couple of dunks. He could get you some rebounds. He could knock down a three-hander. And he was sound for a young dude. You know what I mean? And you kind of got all of that in Wiggins. So if you can get what Iggy gave you off the bench and Kuminga and his explosiveness, that might really help us because we could really use it.
Yeah. Now the big question mark this year is Kuminga. You know, like that's who I think when we do playbacks or we do spaces or whatever, when the games are live, I think there's going to be a lot of conversation around Kuminga. Who's baby mama?
I don't know who that is.
What are you talking about, DJ?
Yo, Oracle.
Big Sam, what's going on, brother?
Good.
Okay. What's going on, Sam? You
In
have class
right now.
Yeah.
What you got for us this morning, Big Sam? You got nothing for us this morning, huh?
Sam, you in New York, right?
He's in Philly or Jersey, I think.
Oh, he's in Philly. So they say a hurricane heading that way, Kev. Y'all, Trinity boy, y'all might have to be careful, man. Bundle up, man.
Bruce, so last night, right? Like,
what, Bruce?
A hurricane coming to New York. Go ahead.
Oh, I seen that shit, bro. I'm like, yo, shit crazy.
Yo, Bruce, last night, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing a playback, and I was just there talking normally or whatever. Next thing you know, I hear like lightning and thunder, basically, right? Then the rain started. Fam, the rain was so crazy last night. Like, it was just beating against my window, right? So, like I'm sitting by my window right now. And the wind and the rain and all of that shit started, bro. And water, it was so intense against the window that water started to leak into the house. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, bro. Like, the wind was so intense that it was just blowing against like the window, and like every window that was facing this direction, it was leaking. You know what I'm saying? The power was out, bro. Like, I don't think we got power back until like 3 a.m. in the morning.
What?
Yeah, bro. So,
man, them don't know about that, no power.
That's why I had to hop off a playback last night. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had no power last night.
That's crazy. Sound like you back home.
Phoenix living like that? Or...
Bro, like, they canceled like a bunch of schools this morning, dog. Like, you know?
Yeah, man. That's one thing I hate, man. When you're a kid, you love to stay home, but man, no power and all that.
No power.
Food and this, that, and the third. Oh my god.
Man, that no power made me think about toting gas from gas station. Bruce, you remember that, Bruce? When the tank finish, you gotta go tote another.
Oh man.
What it do? What the business is?
XB, the big.
Yes, sir.
Good, was good, Shadow.
Yeah, man, you're there.
Hey, what my boy Maple Jordan say? I was like Shadow, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, my nigga Shadow, what's up?
Yeah, I'm here in the cup, man. You already know
What's up, Shadow?
Let Africans be Africans.
Of course.
Man.
We can say Shadow a real one, man. Forget the naysayers.
Nah, come on, man. You already know, man. It all comes back around, man.
I look on you, the better one.
Yeah, man. I look for you the better one, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, so Shada, we're just here watching these clips from the minicamp, bro. Like,
Yep.
you know what I like about this, and you know, I'm just here watching or whatever. The young guys are there, and this wasn't done last season. You know what I'm saying? Something like this wasn't done last season.
There's no vibes last year. The vibes is done.
That's how you know, like, it's just different, bro. So, you know, what's the odds? Plus 1,200. I'm smashing that, bro.
Yeah. This is free money season, man. They're gonna do good things.
They got Milwaukee at plus 600. Like, seriously? The Suns and Milwaukee are plus 600. That's free money.
But you got to put in your thing, because after we 20 seasons,
what is it? It's the Warriors are
plus.
They're plus 1,200 to win it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boston is a plus 450. Porzingis is walking on glass basically, and they're like a plus 450. All right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You ever get the impression that Boston, like, they're leaning more offense now than defense?
Yeah, once Ime left, they lean more offense.
That's not necessarily a good thing, bro. Like,
yeah, it's not.
Any championship team, bro, like, even in this era, like, if you don't profile, you know, better defensively, you're not going to stand a chance, bro.
What made them stifling the year before was the defense with Rob Will. He was erasing everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was altering shots, erasing everything, and teams didn't know what to do. You know, now they're not sure how much longer he's going to be there. Then I don't think Grant Williams is there no more. Marcus Smart is not there, and I think even though the young guard that they got playing, he's pretty good. I don't know if he's as a pest as Marcus Smart, and he can quarterback the defense. I know he can defend. I just don't know if he's going to quarterback the defense like Marcus Smart did. That's big. Hey, yo, Kevin, Niners Kevin.
Niners Kevin is crazy, bro.
Niners Kevin.
Oh, he gets out.
Yo, I don't like how you Niners fans are walking around with your chest out, so man, like.
Oh God, just let us be 6-0 in a minute.
Bro,
it's
my youth's moving like John Gotti. Niners Kevin. Now he's on the timeline talking crazy, bro. Like,
I ain't gonna lie, man. We're gonna be a problem in that shit, man. I feel sorry for Aaron Rodgers though. I can't lie.
Hey, I'm talking crazy.
You're talking.
As the Brits would say, bro, like, as the Brits would say, Niners fans are moving wassy.
Yeah, the man are moving wassy, dog.
Yeah.
Trust me. I get it, and I'm loving the confidence, but all you guys really needed to see was that one game. They're different. They're definitely a top 2 team. There's zero doubt about that. Like,
but you know what though? I'm still not a part of like the whole Brock Purdy train. Like some people, he's doing everything well. I just need to see how does he going to go outside the numbers, which he threw a touchdown in the end zone, and how does he throw a ball vertically from an accurate standpoint. If he could do that consistently, I'm on.
My thing is that he doesn't possess the physical traits that are needed to win and stay healthy in a 17 game season plus potentially 4 games in the playoffs. I mean, you're playing 21 games potentially. Like,
yeah,
he just to me he just doesn't have the. While he might have like the intangibles and like the it factor, like you need more than that to win a Super Bowl and to win more than one Super Bowl. Like you need, a Mahomes or Josh Allen or a Joe Burrow or a Matthew Stafford. Like, I'm sorry, you just need somebody who has a big arm. Like, I don't see, like, even the guys like Nick Foles. Like, Nick Foles has a really good arm. Like, I just don't get where everybody's like, oh yeah, we're definitely gonna win a Super Bowl with Purdy. It's like, I think we have a good chance to win a Super Bowl, but again, like, that's why I was on the Lance train, because
yeah.
You cut out, Kevin.
Oh.
Get one, and then that might be it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the upside is just not there to sustain success after all of these playmakers are gone. Like, it's just, I mean, you put any other quarterback on our team, they're going to be successful, and you put Purdy on a team like, let's say, the Detroit Lions, the Kansas City Chiefs, or the Buffalo Bills, he's not going to have as much success. Like, he's just not, and that's not a knock on him. That's a testament to Kyle and the playmakers that we have on the team and the defense. Like, it is what it is. He's doing his job for what Kyle's asking him. But to win a Super Bowl, you need to do more than that.
Yeah, well, I completely agree with you, man. We're gonna see. I'm one of them people who I've been watching football and playing football my entire life, man. So it's one thing if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I do believe he's less of a turnover machine thus far than Jimmy G is, because that dude looked like police had their high beams on him when he threw the ball at times. You know what I mean? So yeah. I will give Brock Purdy that. Plus, he was the last pick in the draft, so I'm gonna give him that too. Like, he's proven they say is wrong. You know what I mean? But people don't really usually get drafted so late if they haven't already showed you who they were. You know what I mean? So, like, me personally, Josh Allen, to me, he's overrated. I'm not a fan. I think he's talented, but he's overrated. I think Joe Burrow deserves more respect. I think Pat Mahomes is in the league by himself. He's the only elite quarterback, because ain't nobody throwing 50 touchdowns but him. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I wish we had a Justin Herbert or Trevor Lawrence, or somebody who had a rocket and who was about 6'5", 6'6". But it is what it is. If we're gonna win games, I ain't got no problem.
This is why I said that if Lance was the guy, if he develops properly, he becomes one of these guys. He doesn't have to be a top 3. If he can get into the top 10, it was a total kill shot to the league, and we would just dominate the league for the next 5 to 8 years. Because when you have a guy like that with the playmakers that we have in the defense, nobody would stand a chance. That's the thing. That's why I'm he's gone to the Cowboys. Like, I'm a Niners fan. I'm always gonna root for the Niners no matter what. But, like, at the same time, we had a chance to put the league on notice, and for us to be, oh my God, they've got a top 10 quarterback in that defense and 5 All-Pros on the offense. How in the world are we going to beat these guys? I think Brock Purdy is gaining respect, but I don't think anybody fears Brock Purdy. Like, nobody fears Brock Purdy. So they fear the offense. They fear Kyle's scheme. And I just don't think Purdy's ever going to make that leap into a top 10 because he's just physically limited. Like, look at all the guys that are in the top 10. They all have physical gifts and physical talents that nobody else in the world has. And Brock Purdy has an elite mind for sure, but I think that can only get you so far in today's NFL. If I'm being perfectly honest, you need to have it all. And even the guys that do have elite traits don't win the Super Bowl every single year, because it's the elite of the elite that win in today's NFL. And that's just how it is.
Yeah, if he's going to turn into Drew Brees, then by all means. But, it is true. There's only 2 quarterbacks his stature that's only won in the last couple of years, in 20, 30 years, and that's Drew Brees and that's Russell Wilson, and that's only once. It is harder to win in the NFL than, like, basketball per se. But have you paid attention to Jordan Love in Green Bay, bro? You see how everybody was saying, I don't think he's that good. I hope they're paying attention, because he looked way better than we think. And if anything, Green Bay, it make more sense why Green Bay was ready to get rid of Aaron Rodgers to the way this kid looked. So some people just need an opportunity, man.
And that's why everybody thinks that, if Trey did get a fair shot with the Niners, then he won. Like, if he was named the starter this year, or for some reason, if Brock Purdy got hurt or whatever, and he was the quarterback too, everybody thought that Trey wouldn't give his job back to Brock, if he just got the opportunity. And I hope he gets it somewhere, because I still think the kid is special, and he just wasn't treated right in Santa Clara. Like, just what they did to him, how they used him. They never even built an offense around his strengths. Like, it was just a disaster from the beginning. So I wish him well.
You could look at Zach Wilson. Even he got another opportunity. As horrible as he's been the past 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, you could say, well, he'd look better on the Niners with Kyle, and look at Justin Fields. I mean, I like Justin Fields as a prospect, but he can't throw a football, man. Like, he just, I don't know what it is with him, but like, regardless, they all would have gotten the same treatment in San Francisco, because Kyle wants his quarterback to be a certain way. And these guys that, run around and improvise in the big arm, that's not what he wants. It's not what he's looking for. I think he tricked himself.
You know the reason why he didn't want that, right?
Well, I mean, I think he tricked himself into thinking Lance could fit what he wants. But Lance is not a robotic type of guy. He's a guy that's gonna.
Let me explain to you, man.
Bruce.
Let me explain to you, right? I'm gonna sum up who Kyle Shanahan is. He's no different from a Nick Saban. Okay, all right. You see where I'm from? If I was in the NFL, I'm coming from the community. I would have been just like Chad Johnson, gold teeth in my mouth, chain around my neck, dancing, talking crazy, and they don't like that. So guess where I wouldn't go to college and play football? It wouldn't be Alabama, because I couldn't express myself. You understand? Now, the reason why Nick Saban can draft offensive linemen, defensive linemen, linebackers, running backs, and all these guys turn into potential Hall of Fame players, but the only quarterbacks that has ever had success in the NFL under Nick Saban are 3 quarterbacks recent to date. Since 1980-something, from Alabama, there are only 3 quarterbacks who started repeated years in the NFL, and those 3 are from Nick Saban. That's Jalen Hurts, who everybody was still looking for him to see more development, and that was up until last year, which he was given an opportunity. There's Mac Jones, and the jury is still out on him. And there's Tua, and the jury is still out on him. And I know Tua can play, hence this past weekend, right? I know Hurts can play. And I think Mac Jones is a pretty good quarterback too. I think New England just don't have too many weapons, so there's only so much he can do, right? But having said that, the reason why they like quarterbacks who they can manage and manipulate is because, 1, when they lose games, they're going to blame the quarterback. 2, when they win games, they're going to say that's how great the coach is. He can win despite his quarterback not being the best or the most talented or the biggest. You understand? So if Kyle Shanahan is to have an elite quarterback, you think if Kyle Shanahan had a Mahomes who was throwing for 40 touchdowns in a season, 50 touchdowns in a season, he didn't win the Super Bowl, he would still remain the head coach? He wouldn't. This is the reason why Nick Saban was talking against the transfer portal and all these boosters, because now that kids can get money to go play elsewhere and they don't have to go to Alabama to make it to the league, he might become relevant, which is the reason why Texas just whooped those boys this past weekend. You understand? So I'm telling you, if Brock Purdy is who Kyle Shanahan say he is, and they stay healthy, and they finish with one of the better records, and they don't win the Super Bowl, I'm not saying get rid of him, but I'm saying take away some of the power, because there's no reason why you should have all this talent, and after all these years, you just can't win a Super Bowl. It makes no sense.
Bruce, and this is why exactly. There's a lot of Kyle Shanahanites, in 49ers Twitter that think he's God. And this is why I think an Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady would have been the perfect thing for Kyle, because he's so stuck in a certain way that one of these other guys that may have given him a little pushback, and if we did win a Super Bowl, would show him, say, hey, look, I need to loosen the reins a little bit and let my quarterback go play. But again, because the reason why we didn't get a Tom Brady or a Rodgers is because of Kyle's ego, because he doesn't want any pushback whatsoever. And while that may be true, the best thing for Kyle as a head coach, not just an offensive coordinator or game plan or play designer, would be to have one of those guys. Because in the long term, maybe he could find another quarterback or draft another quarterback that is like that and say, you know what, there needs to be a balance between their talent and my mind. You know what I'm saying? And like he's completely disregarded that type of player, and not bringing, and it leads to comments like, well, Jimmy Garoppolo was only marginally worse than Tom Brady, so we're not going to bring Tom Brady in. It's like, what? Come on, man! Like,
he's too arrogant.
And so that's the thing for Kyle's development as a head coach. It would have been perfect to have a Rodgers or a Tom Brady here for the long-term success of the 49ers in terms of Kyle's ability to manage and balance being a head coach and an offensive mind, if that makes sense.
See, Aaron Rodgers, not only did Aaron Rodgers want to be drafted by San Francisco because that's his hometown team, he almost said that he wanted to destroy those dudes worse when Kyle Shanahan got there. But when the opportunity was given, when they tried to extend the opportunity for him to come play in San Francisco, he don't want to play for San Francisco because the things that he would want and the power that he would have, it would clash between him and the coach. And so Brady probably would have been more likely to join, you know what I mean? Because he wanted to go somewhere, especially with a win now team, to win. So not only did he whiff on that, but when I'm seeing you saying to the referee, hey, this guy's going to hold my tight end, this is the route that he's doing, and they got you mic'd up, and you get that right, it shows me, yeah, you are a genius. You know to master your schemes. You know how to master the play calling. But when it comes to being honest and developing a quarterback, that's just not you, man. So it is what it is. We're going to see, because even with everything Brock Purdy is doing, he was playing this good in college. He just got hurt. You know what I mean? So it's like he just got hurt. He wasn't this big. He was playing at Iowa. So people didn't talk about him like that. But I hope that he's not getting credit for this dude playing.
You know what's interesting, because we talk about the Warriors like it's a failure unless we don't win the NBA finals, right? It's a failure if we don't win. And it's like the 49ers Twitter and the Warriors Twitter, they don't hold the same expectation for the Niners. And I don't understand it. I really don't understand it, because they're perfectly fine with going to an NFC Championship game and losing and being like, well, we had a great year, and Kyle's a god, and Brock Purdy's him. It's like, no. Why don't you have higher expectations for your team? I'm sorry, but rosters like this don't come around. Like, it took 4 to 5 years to build the roster that we have now. And if you don't capitalize on it, it's a failure. That's why the Harbaugh years, we were making it to NFC Championship games. We were going to Super Bowls and losing. We had the best roster in the NFL from 2011 to 2014, and nobody could question that. I don't care who the quarterback was anywhere else. The Niners had the best team those 4 years. And just like right now, the Niners have the best team. They've had the best team since 2019. And they're just not getting it done. So if they don't win a Super Bowl this year, they could go 15-2. If they don't end in a Super Bowl, the season is a failure, in my opinion. It's a failure. It's a failure.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to see. Yeah, I'm about to hit my lunch break, man.
Yeah, I'm about to head out, and
sorry to talk about football the last 30 minutes, but
no,
it's all good.
Space Gang is everything, bro. Unless Ray wants to come up here and stream, but outside of that, I'm probably gonna just log off until the 4:30 Spaces today. So
okay, I'll try to tap in for that.
Yeah, so 4:30 I'm gonna do a Spaces today, and then
4:30 your time, right?
Yeah, or what is that? 7:30 your time? Yeah.
All right.
So cool. 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern.
All right, no doubt, bro. Appreciate y'all, man. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, y'all.
See ya.
Thank you, everybody. Y'all have a good morning or a good evening or good afternoon, wherever you are. And we'll tap in this evening. All right, so I'll talk to y'all later.